February 4th, 2016. From El Cajon, California, this is episode 92 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall, and sitting across from me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
So we had a pretty good week, don't you think?
Yeah, we had a great week, really.
I think so. We went to our friend Dave's poker tournament, and he puts on a tournament like twice a year.
Yeah, maybe 3 times.
And so he had another one this last week. Neither one of us actually made it to the final table. In fact, we were the Bubble Boys.
We were the 2 Bubble Boys. We were number,
11 and 12.
11 and 12.
You went out in 12th. I went out in 11th.
Yeah, and then 10th was the final table.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And our good friend Bill was number 10.
Yeah.
And he was eliminated on the first hand.
Yeah, well, the thing was, when they sat him at the final table, he was in the big blind, and I think he had $100 left, and the big blind was $80.
Right. He was by far the biggest short stack, or shortest short stack, I guess I should say.
But it's you went out. You had bad luck on your. Didn't you have a flush? You had like the nut flush.
I made the nut flush on the turn.
Yeah.
And the person I was against had 2 pair.
Yeah.
And the river card gave him the full house.
Okay, so you had bad luck. Yeah. I, on the other hand, just did a boneheaded move. I had pocket threes, and I want to say there were only 6 people at my table, right? Because again, it was just
there were
before
6 on both
breaking.
tables,
yeah.
right?
So I had pocket threes, and I thought, well, I kind of need to make a move here, and I raised, and I got a caller, and the flop came king, queen, something. That flop is just way too wet for me to then think, maybe I can take this down. I really should have just,
Well, that's a scary flop.
Oh, I know. It's
very
way scary. And I don't know. I counted how much I had left in my stack, and I thought, well, I guess this is my time to go in. And it really was not.
No, it was not. When you went in, now I did not know what you had.
Right.
But when I saw afterwards what you had, I was shocked.
I was so mad at myself because I played so well up to that point.
Yeah.
I had really done well. And then, that's just a boneheaded move.
I was discussing it with my wife.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, why did he do that? What happened? I was explaining the hand. And she was like, that doesn't sound like Mark.
No, I know. And the thing is, now the guy who beat me, it turns out he had pocket kings.
Yeah, he had a great hand.
So he had flop trip kings. The only way I could win is if I went, runner threes.
And he did kind of slow play that.
Well, he's blind.
Right.
A blind guy took me out.
He's literally blind.
He is legally blind. He has a flashlight so he can kind of see the cards, and it has to be very. But yeah, he walks around with a cane, with a blind man's cane. And yeah, he's the one who took me out. So his name's Gary. He's a really nice guy.
He is a nice
comes
guy.
to all the tournaments. But no, you know what? Here's what I've decided. Okay, you were hoping that maybe we could go to the casino after the tournament.
Right. Well, that was our plan. If we were eliminated early. Now at this point, it wasn't all that early.
It wasn't all that early. It was a little after 11 o'clock.
Right, but it was still early enough.
Early for casino time, for going to casino time.
Right.
So I've kind of been looking back on this. I think why I really did it was because I knew you really wanted to go out to the casino, and you had just been eliminated yourself. And so that's why I did it.
You were doing it for me?
I was doing it for you. I think that's going to that's going to help with my cognitive
That's going to help you. That's not the reason, but that's going to help you.
I think it is. I think it's the reason, and that's the way that
because
I'm going to stick
Lynn was saying, well, maybe Mark was thinking, I can make more at the casino. And I was like, no, Lynn, I mean, first place in this tournament's like $1,000.
Yeah, it's close to $1,000.
So he's probably not going to make more at the casino. He could even lose more, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that was your thinking.
I don't know what I was thinking, because that board was so dangerous looking, and I should have just checked and folded. And when you bet after the flop, he just called you too. Yeah.
And that might have had something to do with why you continued after that.
Yeah.
Had he raised at that point, you still could have got out of that hand and had money.
It was a boneheaded move, and that's all there is to it. But it is a good thing we did go to the casino afterwards. Because
our friend Bill needed a ride home. We should
That's right.
That.
So he had Ubered it up there because he'd been drinking quite a bit.
Right. And when you got eliminated...
He was eliminated next, right?
He was right at the final table, and we had to wait for him. But fortunately, he was eliminated.
Yeah, on the very first
hand. So we hightailed it up to Harris.
Yep, we got up there by midnight. I drove your car, and we got up there by midnight.
Right.
And Bill went to a video poker machine that he likes. We went to the craps table, and it was going awful, just terrible. It looked like it was going to be just a dismal night.
It started off terrible, and we were so depressed because we had both just lost in a tournament that I kind of thought we were going to be fighting it out at the end.
Yeah.
So it wasn't good. And we stopped.
Got our food,
Got our
the free
food.
food that we get each week, and then went back to the table. And wow, what a turnaround!
Oh, God, it was so great after that.
Yep.
I mean, there were no bad rolls after that.
Yep. And I made all the money back that I had lost earlier at the craps table, plus all my money that I had contributed to the tournament, plus some more. You actually ended up winning more than you would have if you'd won the poker tournament.
Yep, over twice as much of what I would have won at the poker tournament.
And then even our good friend Bill, he was doing really poorly right away, and then he went back to the machine and hit a couple of 4 of a kinds, and so he went home a winner.
He went home a winner. So we all three went home a winner. Now we went home late, so I can't say that we were all that joyous in the car.
No, we were pretty. Yeah,
we were pretty tired.
Yeah.
But inside I was smiling.
But let me tell you, and I haven't told you this, Mike. Our good friend Glenn, who comes to our weekly poker game,
right.
He ended up winning the tournament.
Right, I saw that.
Right, and this was the pivotal hand. Okay, there were 5 people left. Okay, Glenn had pocket aces, and he went all in. Okay, Dave, who ran the tournament, he had pocket kings.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he was all in, but he made a call. Then there were 2 other players. One player had ace king, and another player had ace queen.
Wow.
And then the 5th player, folded. But 2 players were in, Glenn with the pocket aces, and then somebody with either the ace king or the ace queen. But can you imagine aces, kings, ace king, and ace queen?
Right.
Right. And at first, when Glenn, saw all these callers, he's thinking, oh, I want to have pocket aces against maybe 1 or 2 players, not 3 other players.
Right.
But once he saw, the cards, I actually worked out the math today. He was more than an 80% favorite to win the hand.
Well, yeah, because he's used 2 of the aces in his hand. So the ace king, and the ace queen are kind of
they really need
screwed.
straights,
Right.
is what how they're going to win if they
right.
get a straight.
And the kings, one of his kings is taken
right,
up.
right.
So it's going to be hard for him to get a full house.
Right, trip kings or something like
trip
that.
Kings
right.
or a full house with a kings over.
Right. So, I mean, even though all the aces were out and there was no way Glenn was going to, make a set or something like that, he hung on. And so I don't think he quite quadrupled up, but he had a huge chip lead, and then he just ran it to the end. It was just everybody else battling out for second place.
Right.
But,
well, Dave said in his email he bullied them around after that.
Yeah. And so Dave came in second place. It's the best he's ever done in his own tournament.
Oh,
so
nice.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Hey, we got an email from listener Jack. Now, he lives outside of London, and he emailed us with some information about some of the casinos there. He says there are a lot of casinos kind of in the London area now. But craps, there's basically only 2 craps tables in London.
Really?
Yeah. One is at the Grosvenor Victoria, and the other is at Lola's. Now, Lola's is actually the basement of the Hippodrome Casino where your brother went.
That's where my brother played.
Right. Yeah. So
okay.
those are the only 2 places. He did mention about blackjack too. He said everything over there is 3-2.
That's great.
Right. And we even got an email from listener Tom from Atlanta who had played at a small casino in the Netherlands, and he said, "Hey, what does blackjack pay?" And they were like, well, 3-2, are you new to the game? And he said, in Vegas, some of the tables are 6-5. And they were like, what?
I wonder if that'll catch on over there, though.
I don't know.
If they start figuring it out, but they in Vegas, it's 6-5, though.
I know. But for right now, at least, it sounds like the casinos we know of in Europe, it's all still 3-2. So that's good.
As far as we know, our English counterparts have good blackjack, but for some reason can't stomach craps.
Yeah, right. For whatever reason, it's they don't have a lot of craps over there. But now get this.
Weird.
So Jack, he lives about 50 miles outside of London, and there's a casino close to him, his local casino. It's Genting Casino, and it has a mini craps table.
Oh, okay.
We've seen those before, right? That maybe total around the table you can get maybe 8 people, something like that.
We call it the boat.
Yeah, right. And you know how like the space for all the place bets and come bets, usually at a regular craps table, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 on both sides.
Right.
This, it's just one, across table, just 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, right? So it's a smaller table.
It's a small table.
But he sent us a picture of that table, and I'm going to post it to our show notes because it was very interesting in that some of the payouts were different than what you find here in the United States.
Better or worse?
Better.
Wow.
In every case, better.
Wow.
Okay. Let's go through some of them. First of all, a place bet on the 4 and 10 pays 9.5 to 5 instead of 9 to
To
5.
5.
Right?
Significant, really.
Yeah, it is,
very
right? So
significant.
it kind of looked like maybe they didn't have buy bets. You couldn't tell from the layout, but I'm figuring, if the place bet is 9.5 to 5,
They probably
that's what's a
don't
little
have
bit better.
buyouts.
Right,
yeah.
right. Now here's the other thing: the hard ways. Okay, hard 4 and 10, 7.5 to 1 instead of 7 to 1.
Right.
And we had heard about that in Australia. I think they have that like that, right?
Yeah. So do they have 50-cent chips on the table?
Well, I imagine that if you just had $1, they'd just pay you $7. But if you had $2 out there, maybe they would. Well, excuse me, we should say pounds.
Pounds, right. So
But,
if you
you
had 2 pounds, they'd pay you 15.
Yeah,
if you had
right.
1
So-
pound, they'd just pay you 7 pounds. I guess.
Maybe. Unless, I don't know if they have, smaller denominational chips. But yeah, I'm sure that's the way that it works. 9.5 to 1 for the hard 6 and 8. And in all these cases, all these examples I've given so far, it reduces the house edge by half compared to like American casinos.
It's significant.
Oh yeah,
it's
it really
huge.
is. Now it's still like for the example for a hard 6 and 8, it's even over there on their table, it's still almost a 5% house edge. So the house still has an edge on it, but it's not the whopping 9% that it is here.
Here, yeah.
Hop bets, so non-pair hop bets, like if you're betting on the 11, pays 16 to 1. Not 16-4-1,
Right.
but actually 16-2-1. So if you have a pound out there, they will pay you, if it wins, they'll pay you 16 pounds and your 1 pound bet stays out there.
Right, as opposed to here where you're going to get $14
Yes.
because they're going to pay you 15 for 1 and they're going to leave your dollar out there.
Right. Sometimes it's 15-4-1 here. Sometimes it's 15-2-1. So there are places here where, they'll give you $15 and the bet will stay out here. But here they'll give you 16 pounds and the $1 pound stays out there.
Okay.
And hop bets for a pair, like if you're hopping a hard way, 33 to 1.
That is huge.
Yeah, it really is, because
That's huge.
That is more than the 50%. That's more than 100% better, is what I'm trying to say. Because the house edge on a hop bet here for like a hard way is almost 14%. And over there on this table, paying 33 to 1, it's about 5.5%. So it's really a significant difference.
Yeah, it's not quite 2/3 as better, but
Right,
it's
but
close.
it's
getting
close.
there.
Yeah. So, of course, I have to say, why hasn't somebody over here done it? I'm sure there's no law, certainly in Nevada, preventing a casino from offering better payouts on these.
But if nobody, it's the same.
I know.
If nobody does it, there's no reason for anyone else to do it.
Yeah,
right.
right.
And it's not like we're all going to go to London to play craps, right? So why do they need to do it? They won't do it until they're forced to do it.
No, and you're absolutely right.
It's the same with the 6-5. As long as there's people who are going to sit at those tables, there's going to be 6-5 blackjack.
I just wish they would incorporate some of these rules, because the house edges are still big. They're still bad bets for the player.
Right.
It's not like suddenly if you had these rules, you'd say, hey, I got to bet more prop bets. They still have this huge house edge. Now, you could argue that, well, a payout of 33 to 1, that's a lot more difficult for the dealers to figure out. But hey, if you're a craps dealer, you're good at math.
Right. Right. Yeah, it might be a little confusing for the player, but I don't think the dealer would have too hard a time. You know where this could happen? It'd be a place like Atlantic City, where they had, a bunch of casinos in a small confined area. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing else really close there. It's not like downtown Vegas versus a strip. I mean, you have those block of casinos and that's it. And if one of them was to say, okay, we're going to make 7.5, 9.5 for our hard ways.
Yeah.
That could still business from another casino, at least from a craps player's perspective.
That's true. If it's very competitive, to get gamblers in there, then that might be an incentive for them to change. Yeah. One more thing at this table by Jack, they have don't place bets. And these are pretty unusual. I don't even know if you can make a don't place bet at a craps table in the United States.
We've never seen one.
We've certainly never seen it on the layout. I've heard about them before, but I've never seen anybody do it. Usually what you do is you lay against the number.
Right.
Right? You just make a lay bet. But they actually have don't place bets. So that means that you're betting that a 7 will come up before a specific number. So, for example, a don't place bet against the 6 pays 4 to 5, meaning you bet 5 pounds, and if a 7 comes up before a 6, you'll win 4 pounds,
right?
And still have your 5 pound bet out there too, right? So 4 to 5. That's on the 6 and 8. For the 5 and 9, a don't place bet pays 5 to 8. So you bet 8 pounds to win 5.
Okay.
And the 4 and 10, it's 5 to 11. So you bet 11 pounds to win 5. So then they're clearly on the layout. Again, I'll post a picture of this on the website so everybody can take a look. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, go to our page first, youcanbetonthat.com, and click through our Amazon link at the top of the page. That way, when you make a purchase, we get a little kickback that helps cover the costs of hosting the show, and it doesn't cost you a thing. You'll pay the same price just like normal. All right, let's go to our voicemail hotline. Don't forget, call our hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
And maybe we'll play your clip on the show. First, let's hear from our good friend Victor.
Hey there, Mark and Dr. Mike. It's Victor. Great to be talking with you and all the listeners again. I just came back from Vegas, a trip with my dad. We had a lot of fun. We got him to play some craps. We rolled some dice together, which was really nice. He doesn't move so much anymore, and at least not very quickly. So 2 mornings we headed over to the Golden Gate, had breakfast at Dupar's, and shuffled the short distance to the craps table. Had a great time. They were really patient. At one point I wanted to take a picture with me and my dad at the table, so I take out my camera thinking, see if they say something. They tell me to stop. But instead, the box man says, "Hey, what you doing? You want some help? Let me take it for you." Comes out from behind the craps table, takes my phone, and sets up and takes a great picture of us at the table. Super nice.
Do you love that story?
Oh, that's the best story ever.
And
that's the best story we've ever heard on this podcast.
Think of how many situations would be the exact opposite.
Oh, God.
Oh, sir, you're going to need to put that away.
You pulled that out at like Venetian. They'd call security, like you're going to take a picture of the craps table, for God's sake.
I know. I love that. Well, Golden Gate, no big surprise. We keep talking about it.
Yep.
Had a good time. So about the fire bet, I went and checked it out after we exchanged some text about that there at Bally's, trying to answer the question if the fire bet is going away at the Caesars properties. I went up to the Bally's table, and indeed it is still there. I asked the box man there about it. And he just said, "Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that several times, that it might go away." He said, "But I haven't heard anything official. I've just heard it from players." And I asked him why he thought that was, if he thought it was about the licensing. And he said, "It could be. I don't know. Maybe it's about staffing." And he was kind of vague in his words, but he kind of implied that maybe it had something to do with who was at the table. And then he got called away and left. And as soon as he did, the stick man, who I think had been kind of biting his tongue, immediately started digging in, saying that he thought it was about, them wanting not to pay the staff and whatnot. So he apparently thought it had something to do with that. After that, I headed over and checked out the Cromwell. They still have it. Paris and Planet Hollywood, they all still had it as well. One of the dealers told me they thought it was still at the Rio. So I went over to Caesars, and in fact, there it's gone. There it is, the all tall, small all bet. And the dealer there was an older guy at the $50 table. I went up just to talk to him because it was empty, and he said that it had been gone for a while. I didn't think to ask him how long it had been gone, but I asked him about the Boxman question, if that had anything to do with it, and he said that they hadn't had Boxman in a really long time. He said they hadn't had Boxman in like 10 years, so he didn't think that had anything to do with it, but he had no idea why. He said, we just showed up one day and the felt was different, and they don't ask us. So that was that. I guess the questions I have for you is, I'm not really sure the implication of having a Boxman or not. And also at one of the M Life properties in New York, I saw they had the repeater bet now, but their regular all-tall bet on the rest of them. So maybe something about that. All right. Thanks a lot. Great show.
Yeah, Boxmen have been kind of disappearing from tables. I guess, it's an extra person.
Right. And we've noticed that over, it might have been 10 years ago because we've noticed it for quite a long time.
It is nice to have them there because they can kind of look over the table, and watch for things, and they can handle disputes, right away rather than having to call the pit over and then explain to the pit what had happened. It's nice to have. But, with those feature bets, all tall, all small, it's usually the boxman that marks the rolls that come up, right?
Right, exactly.
So if you don't have a boxman, I guess it's the stick man, right?
It must be. Who else would do it? It'd have to be the stick man.
I don't like that. I mean, the stick's doing enough as it is.
Right. But, if with a lot of prop bets, the stick's pretty busy. They might forget to mark something.
Yeah.
The other thing I like about boxman is, in a lot of places, and this was definitely true at Caesars, the boxman would also be the person rating you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they would
right.
have that
A little display, like
that-
a touch screen
yeah,
next
and
to
they
them they
actually
could do.
could
Yeah.
move towards them, and they type stuff in as you
Yeah.
were playing. So when you changed your bets, all of a sudden, let's say you've won some money and you decide, hey, I'm going to go to $50 bets now.
Yeah.
You know, they could mark that in that, oh, he's playing 50 now.
Yeah.
And I think you got a truer rating. The pit bosses, they're going from this table to that table, and then they're talking to some cocktail waitress or something. They're not even watching your bets.
Yeah. And then this dealer that talked to Victor about the fire bet, him thinking they didn't want to pay the staff, was he talking about like when they win the fire bet, the casino doesn't like paying them the $1,000 or however much it makes?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, actually, we have another.
You do. That is a good point, though, because with fire bets, you do see a lot of people putting money out there for the dealers. But I have not seen that so much with the all tall, all small.
Yeah, that is true.
Occasionally,
Yeah,
I
that's true.
do see
You're right.
somebody put one for them, like one for me, one for you, but not that often.
Yeah, they do get tipped more on the fire bet. That's a good point.
And when you do win that, it's not as much. So
you mean the
maybe,
features bet? Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The features bet. So maybe the casino was saying, "Hey, we're giving a lot of money to dealers,
yeah,
right?"
that could be. But let's listen to a call from Dave because he talks about this too.
Hi, guys. Love the show. This is Dave from Northern New Jersey. The reason you have to go from kiosk to kiosk and swipe your card for every little promo is because otherwise you might actually be in the casino and might win something. I know, it's a stupid rule and whatever. Love your story about hitting those 4 hard sixes. Your thing about a fire bet and the features bet and how much casinos have to pay and all of that, casinos pay a distributor a certain amount per table per month. And if they decide to add one of those proprietary bets to a table, they have to renegotiate and start paying more. But how much they pay is always negotiable. There could be a case where a casino has a contract to cover the entire casino, regardless of how many tables. It's all negotiable. You never know what the story is. The fire bet was originally marketed by some individuals. It got bought out by Shufflemaster, who is now Scientific Gaming. The features all tall and all small bet, I believe, was invented by a guy who never tried to market it directly, but it was marketed initially through Galaxy Gaming, and it is still marketed through Galaxy Gaming. I know all this because I invented a side bet for roulette that Galaxy Gaming is working to get into casinos. They haven't gotten into casinos yet because we're just still in the initial phases. If you're interested in it, you can go to my website, which is poker4roulette.com. It's poker-for-roulette.com. Basically, it's just a side bet that the next 3 spins have some interesting combination, like a pair or a 3 of a kind or a straight, and you can bet it as often as you want. You can have 3 bets running at the same time. That's my concept, and Galaxy Gaming is working with me to try to get into casinos. If you want to talk more about it, feel free to give me a call or an email. My contact's on my website. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Love your show. Keep up the good work. Bye.
Okay, I'll actually post a link to Dave's site. It is pretty
Thanks,
cool.
Dave. That's good info.
It's a wager that he has come up with that goes over several rolls on the roulette wheel.
Right.
Kind of like Riverboat Roulette. Remember that we played there, where they were kind of like place bets.
Right.
This isn't actually place bets, but you have to wait like 3 rolls before you find out whether you won or not.
Right.
And yeah, it's based. I'll post a link to the page, but basically, do the next 3 rolls give you some kind of poker hand? Or do the numbers come out to be a straight, or are all 3 of them black? That would be a flush,
right?
Something like that. And he has
that's
different payouts.
a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. The casino should love that.
Yeah, you'd think so. Yeah,
right. It keeps you there.
Right, that's right.
When you're ready to go, I got to wait. 3 more rolls,
Yeah.
and then you know how gamblers are. Well, I'm sitting here. Okay, here's another 100. Right. A casino should love that. It fits into their mentality. Perfect.
Yeah. And then getting back to what Dave was talking about as far as licensing goes, I think this is probably the cause, because we actually got a tweet from our friend Greg, who actually lives in Las Vegas. And he said, according to the dealers at Rio, Caesars Entertainment and the owner of the Firebet couldn't come to terms over the fee. So that seems a little more likely.
Some kind of stalemate. So they said, forget the Firebet and we'll just go do something else.
That seems like the most likely thing.
Yeah, now that does make a lot of sense, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, though. What could the fee be that a casino, I mean, it's such a high house edge.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to pay us $5 million for this?
I mean, really, I have no idea. Dave probably knows. Maybe we'll.
Yeah, he might know.
Yeah, but no, I have no idea.
Well, that was a great call.
Yeah, I agree.
Another good call. We're off to a good start.
Oh, here we go. Well, let's go to another one.
Hey, Mark and Mike. This is T from Atlanta. How you guys doing? I've been starting to listen to your podcast recently. I've been getting caught up on some older ones. And on one of the ones that I was listening to recently, you all were talking about how once you win money, it is not the house's money, it is actually the player's money. And I could not agree with you guys more. However, I did want to share a story with you that shows that the casinos don't necessarily agree. A few years back, I was with a group, and we were down at Harrah's Tunica in Mississippi, which has since closed. But while we were there, we had just a really good weekend. It was very profitable, and it was punctuated certainly by a long, profitable crap session. It was just one of those dream sessions where one person would have the dice for 30 minutes, another person would hit 3 or 4 points in a row. It was great, and we were just really raking it in. When I got back home, and a few days later, I went online to check out my tier score, and I was pretty certain that they had not properly rated me. In the past, I had done diamond in a day, and I've been able to usually keep up a pretty consistent level. But anyway, I just knew that they hadn't rated me properly. So I called up my casino host to see if there was anything she could do. And she put me in touch with someone, and I don't recall the person's position, but I believe there was somebody within game operations at the casino. And I explained my situation to her, and I told her I was certain that I had not been rated properly and what could be done. So she said she would look into it and get back to me. She called me back the next day and claimed that she went back and looked at some tape, particularly from our craps session. And what she told me was that she noticed that I was increasing my wagers as we were winning. And she said, while that's, good strategy, you're really playing with the house's money, so you're not rated the same as if you were betting your own money. And I went into a very lengthy argument with her talking about, no, I could have walked to the cashier with that. I could have cashed out and spent it at another casino, but I chose to spend it at your table, so it was my money. And we just did not see eye to eye on that. She eventually ended up giving me another 700 tier points, but I was really disappointed in their reasoning why they didn't rate me higher. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you guys. Love the podcast. I'm going out to Vegas in a couple weeks, and if any good stories pop up, I will let you know. Thanks, guys.
Are casinos thinking? Isn't that the stupidest thing?
Yeah. Well, it's typical, right? It's a way to make the player think, yeah, maybe I am playing with their money.
It is so stupid. First of all, I love that she said, well, that's a good strategy. Well, no, it's not a good strategy. Hey, we all do it. It's part of the fun of gambling is when you're winning, you bet more. But there's no way it's a good
strategy would be to go to the cage
That's
and
right.
cash out.
And if you've got a player who bets more when they're winning, that means they're always going to bet more when they're winning. Right. So this is going to be a consistent thing. The next time they're on a really, high rollover, they're going to bet more money
and probably give it back.
Right. That's right. The best thing to do when you're winning is leave. You're just talking about math. So it's infuriating that this was the excuse was, you were playing with house money.
And that's it. It's just an excuse.
Yeah. Oh, right. Exactly.
And you know what? It shouldn't even come to them having an explanation. When a player calls like that, they should just say, oh, yeah, okay, well, if you think you got more, here's some more tier credits.
Yeah.
Make them happy and get them to come back.
Yeah, right. Instead of, she should have just said, you did play a little bit more. I'm going to give you 700 tier credits. That, even if it still wasn't as much as he should have gotten it, at least in that case, it's like, okay, good.
He's going to feel like, okay, I made my case and she agreed with me and they gave me some more tier credits. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't what I deserved, but I did get some more.
Yeah.
Instead, she comes off looking like,
oh, you were betting more.
Yeah,
that's all that happened was you were betting more.
Yeah, you were trying to take us for more money.
That's right. It was a hot roll, and hot rolls continue to be hot.
Yeah,
I've been in the casino business for 20 years. I've seen it.
It's like, and we've said this before. We haven't said it for a long time. It's like when one of the blackjack dealers tell you, "I've been dealing this game for 50 years, and I can see these streaks coming."
That's right. You never hit a soft 18. You got an 18. Queen. Terrible story. Terrible. All right. Let's hear from Todd.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike, Todd from Minnesota calling. Say, I've got a craps odds question for you. I don't remember where I heard this. I probably read it online, which, usually means it's true. But I'm wondering if you've heard this too or can lend any credence to the tale. I know you said when you guys first started going to Las Vegas, odds on dice were always 2 times max, but that's changed primarily to 3, 4, 5 times, especially on the Strip. Anyway, I heard that some whale was coming into town and was trying to dictate his own rules, which I know they can do to an extent. And anyway, he convinced the bosses to allow 3, 4, 5 times odds on craps because it would make the payout easy for the dealers. It's just always 7 times the base bet. Of course, this actually lowers the house edge and is better for the players. But anyway, it caught on, and now most of the Strip is 3, 4, 5 times odds. I guess it's probably safe to assume Steve Wynn was not who the whale was talking with. Anyway, did you guys hear about this tale? Any truth to it? Anyway, love the podcast. Later.
No idea if there's any truth to it.
No. I've never heard that. That's the first I've heard of that.
It's one of those things that maybe it's true, but I
just always assumed 3, 4, 5 came because the Strip was trying to steal downtown business, and a bunch of people decided, this is something we could do, right? And it also made it easier for the dealers,
right? Like Todd said, right? If people are taking max odds, then no matter what the point is, the payout is always just 7 times whatever their line bet is,
right?
Yeah,
because it was shortly after that like Binion's went to 100 times odds.
No. Binion's was 100 times odds while it was still double odds on the Strip.
Double odds.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe the Strip was losing business to downtown because of that, and they didn't want to go to 100, but they wanted to do something.
I don't know. That doesn't sound right to me, but who knows, right? I mean, it's certainly been a good thing for the player.
But I've always wondered, why didn't they just go to 5 times odds?
Yeah,
straight across the board, 5 times.
Right.
I mean, it's like you said earlier. Dealers are pretty good at math.
Yeah, right.
So
exactly.
I don't think 5 times on a 4 is going to hurt.
Just go to 10 times odds. Then you don't need to worry about like the 5 and 9 because it says, I've got $5, or if it's 5 times odds and you need to bet on the 5 and 9, it needs to be an even amount. And so
right.
Just make it 10 times odds. Most people aren't going to be coming close to taking 10 times odds.
Right.
And just leave it at that. Soapbox. Okay, call from Wendell.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Wendell from Denton. Bet y'all in Banff. And I was going to say, I have 2 things. I'm actually on the way to WinStar tonight because my wife's out of town. So, yeah, when I go to WinStar, it's an awesome spot. I heard a guy from Keller calling, I guess, last week and leave a message about it. It's huge. It's a mile. If you go in a circle around it, it's an entire mile. So, yeah, when you go up there to play slots and video poker. And during the summer, there's a cool pool bar and all that fun stuff. So it's a cool spot for us because, we're like 30 minutes away from it. But anyway, my second point is I'm going to be going back to Vegas in March. It's a business trip-ish, but we're going to have a lot of fun from the guys from work. So we're going to stay at the Mirage on the Strip. I've never stayed down there on the Strip. I always stay at the D downtown because it's Banff. Or that's just the first stop I went to on my honeymoon too with me and my wife. So it's going to be me and the guys from work will be at the Mirage. So let me know if you got any specifics around that spot or another casino you like to go to right next to it. I've been on the Strip a few times, but never stayed there. So anyway, let me know what you think. What's your thoughts on the Mirage? Bye.
Yeah, the Mirage is a great place to stay on the Strip. It's right in the middle of everything.
It is in the middle of everything. They have a nice poker room there if you want to play poker.
They used to. I'll tell you, it's been a long time since we've been in the Mirage. Isn't that funny? For as often as we are at Caesar's Palace, right there, close to it. But as far as location goes, I mean, everything is right there. So
it's easy to get to Harrah's.
Yeah, just across the street.
When we stayed at Harrah's regularly, I mean, we stayed years ago. We would stay at Harrah's every time. You basically walk out Harrah's door, across the street, and go right in the Mirage.
Yeah, it's one of the quickest casino to casino trips on the Strip.
On the Strip,
that's true.
I mean, downtown, there's a lot of that. But on the Strip, that's the quickest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally walk across the street.
Yeah. But then head a little south. You're at Caesars, you're at Aria, everything is right there.
Not too far
away.
You
have plenty of things. So, I mean, you're going to find tons of things to
And it's
to
a nice
do in
casino.
I've always liked the Mirage Casino, right. Again, I haven't been in one of the rooms for a long time. Gosh, it's probably been 20 years.
Yeah,
but,
it's been a long time.
But
I'm sure they're still pretty nice.
Yeah, I would think so.
I'm going to have to start working out.
Oh,
because when we go to WinStar and I hit some big, huge hard six payout and I have to do a loop around the casino with my hands raised, screaming, how am I going to do a mile?
I think it'll be easy because, by the time for the next roll, they get all the cards ready and they collect all of the VIG, or the ante that you need to do.
Right.
You'll be back by then.
Okay.
Yeah, even if you just walk it.
Even if I just walk the mile.
Yeah.
Because at Harrah's, when I do the lap around the tables, I mean, it's quick. You know, it's not that big. So I can do the lap pretty quick, even in my dilapidated state.
But yeah, like Wendell said, it sounds like a great place. It's just for table game players. We'd probably be going crazy. But for video poker, I'm sure it's good. Okay, let's hear from Mike.
Hey guys, Mike in Los Angeles. Little surprised to hear you guys don't use casino credit. I've had casino credit for a few years now, and I just wanted to talk about some of the benefits that I really like about it. One of the things is I can be spontaneous. If we want to jump in the car and go down to Harrah's Rincon for a Saturday night, I know my money's there. I don't have to go to the bank. I don't have to stand in line at the cage. I can go straight to the table, and my money's there. I don't have to carry a lot of cash if we're going to Vegas through the airport. I can jump on a plane I've literally jumped on a plane with $2 in my wallet, and then when I get to the tables in Vegas, the money's there. I can play. Also, if you lose, you get 30 days to pay typically. I know it's just a free loan for 30 days, a little bit of flexibility. Tribal casinos, I believe, are 2 weeks typically or 3 days, so it's a little bit different, but you don't have to pay right away, so they do send you a statement typically. And I know there was some concern about multiple properties basically having to stay at the same property if you have credit. You can actually, I think Caesar's application has a few different properties you can check off. So you can do $1,000 at Flamingo, $3,000 at Caesar's, $2,000 at Planet Hollywood. So there is some flexibility there how you spread your credit out. Now you'd have to be careful, of course, but you don't have to just pick one property and stick with it. But the main reason I like credit is I feel like I do get better offers. I don't gamble as much as I used to anymore. I am a diamond card this year, but in years past I've been gold or platinum. But I feel like I'm still getting the same offers for free rooms, maybe $300 to $500 in free play, maybe some food comps, tickets to see Seinfeld or some other show. So I'm constantly getting these offers, even being a gold or a platinum. And I really feel like it has to do with my credit lines. That's all I got. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. You hear that, Mike?
Yeah, I know. And there's a lot of good, he brings up a lot of good points. So, yeah, I mean, I've thought about it.
You really should. It doesn't make sense for me because I buy in for like $200 at the table, right?
Right.
But I mean, it's something you should do. It really, there's a lot of good reasons to do it.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's like,
I'm old.
It's like when I told my dad, I said, Dad, you got to get a DVR. He's like, well, what am I going to do with a DVR? I'll never use it. Said, Dad, once you have a DVR, that's all you'll ever use, right? You won't watch live TV anymore. No. So we forced him to get a DVR. Now he loves it.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
It'd be the same with you. The only difference is that DVRs have only been around for a relatively short period of my father's life.
Okay.
Casino credit has been around your entire life.
Right.
Okay, so it's time to take advantage of it.
So when I go home, I've got to explain this to my wife.
Oh, she'll have no problem with it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she'll have no problem with it. Have her call me.
I'll have her
that
call.
That always works.
That always works. The voice of reason will explain it to her.
Call her, Mike. I'm going to put a lot of pressure on Dr. Mike to go through with this. We'll let you know.
We're going to, maybe for your 100th trip in Vegas, I'll fill out a casino credit. I'll get a casino credit at Caesars,
that
right?
That's, and our 100th trip is coming up. I forgot to put in the show notes here.
Yeah.
After the phone calls, we do have an announcement about a trip coming up that we're going to be taking here. Okay, we got a couple calls from Ryan. I'm just going to play them back to back here.
What's up, fellas? This is Ryan calling once again from Southern California. Wanted to give you guys a quick trip report. A little overdue. This is actually from Christmas Day. I made the trip up to Lake Tahoe, my first time there. Then this is a real family trip, and we hit a crazy storm, 18 inches of snow. Thankfully, we made it up there, and we had a lot of plans, non-casino plans, but it was on my list that I had to get in there at least. Turns out Christmas Day is when Christmas morning is when I was able to sneak over there, and something didn't quite feel right about being in the casino on Christmas Day, but I want to get a little action on the basketball games. And if you remember my last couple calls, I had a little bit of luck on the easy baccarat, so I went there thinking, let me try my luck, and hopefully the minimums are smaller here. But no, I go into the Harrah's, and across from there they got the Harveys, and those two are clicked up, and then there's a Hard Rock. So I went into those three, and the baccarat table was, I think it was 25. So I just walked over the Hard Rock, same thing over there. And right when I walk in, I just see a craps table empty. So I had to get on there. $5 minimums. The deals were really nice. It was kind of strange having all the gear on because I had the boots and the big old jackets, and they were real nice and offered me to hang my jacket if I wanted. Played real conservative. I hit 2 numbers, crapped out the third time, 7 out the third time, and then I walked away. I just walked away. It's Christmas Day. Like I said, I didn't really feel like gambling so much that day, so I got my bets in on basketball. Won a little bit there. I had the Cavs covering the spread on the Warriors. And that was it, man. Talk to you guys next time. I got a Vegas trip coming up end of February. I'll let you guys know how that goes. Take it easy, guys. Hi, this is Ryan once again. There's a couple of things I forgot to add. The Hard Rock did have the fire bet there. And another thing, the weather was so bad I didn't even make it back to the casino to cash my winning ticket on the Cavs Warriors game. So, which leads me to another question. I got 120 days to cash it or mail in or whatever. It's one mail tickets. I'm not too worried about it. But I was looking at some of my other tickets and that I've got from Vegas in the past, and the pari-mutuel tickets were voided 120 days after the event, and all other race and sports books are 60 days after the event. The ones I'm looking at happen to be Gold Coast. Maybe you can go over that, mention how that works out for those that don't know. All right, guys. Take it easy.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. He's talking about going during Christmas. I remember when I used to always take my grandparents to Las Vegas, like the week before Christmas.
Right.
Because the rates were real good.
Right. We've done that quite a bit.
Yeah. And you remember my grandfather used to love to go to Vegas.
Yeah, he was great.
But it's funny because he would say, God, I hate it when I'm in the casino and they're playing religious Christmas music over the loudspeakers. But it'd be fine. It was like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Right.
But as soon as one of the religious, ones
Hark the Herald Angels Sing.
He always felt a little awkward.
It was that guilt kicking in, like, that's right. I shouldn't be here.
This is wrong. When it comes to sports wagers and how long the ticket is good, it depends on a lot of things. It depends on the jurisdiction. It depends on the casino itself, what their policy is. It really, you never know.
Right. I'm sure the Gaming Commission has a lot to say.
That has something to say, but even I know that here locally, I made a horse racing wager at Barona by us. It was like for the Kentucky Derby, and that was good for 12 months. Yeah. After the race, right? There are other places, 60 days, 120 days, 6 months, there's no, I'm sure that, again, it depends on the laws in the jurisdiction and, what the casinos decide themselves. But I don't think there's any standard amount of time that the tickets can be cashed in.
You can just, for people who don't know, you can make a wager, leave Las Vegas, and then, when your wager wins or loses at the completion of that, you can mail it in and they'll send you the money.
That's right. Yeah, you can mail it in. And you don't really need to worry about mailing it in. If you're concerned, you could mail it certified mail, or something like that.
Just so you know they got it.
Right.
I always do that. Certified mail, it's a few bucks. Then they received it.
But, take a picture of the ticket before you mail in. But I've never heard of anybody having any problems just mailing it in. These are casinos that want to stay in business, So if they get your ticket, they're going to.
Well, if there was any discrepancy and you went to the Gaming Commission, that's more hassle for them than paying you.
Right, exactly.
Right?
And the money is set aside. It's not like, shoot, we got to pay this one off.
Right. They already know they've got to pay it.
That's right. So.
Just real briefly, I forgot to say this, going back to Mike's phone call, and then Ryan also, those are Southern California guys. So, hey, if you're coming to RincCon, let us know.
Yep.
Because we're there almost every Friday night.
Pretty much every Friday night, with
and then
some
sometimes
exceptions.
we go on Saturday, and we could make an exception. If we knew somebody was coming, we would change our night to a night we could meet them.
Yeah,
right?
Let us know, email us or tweet us.
Yeah, we'd love to play some craps with these guys.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we got a question about cum bets.
Hey guys, I have a quick question. So I started playing craps not too long ago. It's a lot of fun. I listen to you guys all the time, and I had to try it because I've never played before. Listen to you guys. So I started to play, and there's a lot going on the table. And I see people place bets and them being paid out for those bets every time the bets are rolled, and I just don't understand a lot of it. And one of the bets that I keep seeing that I want to try that I'm not sure what it is or what it does is the cum bet. I understand that when you place a bet on the cum bet, you roll the dice and the It's kind of like a place bet, but the dice decide where it goes. I think that's it. It sounds like there's maybe more to it. If you could explain that, maybe that'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, all a come bet is it's exactly like the pass line bet. It works exactly like the pass line bet.
Right.
Okay.
I like to think of it as you're playing a game within a game.
That's right. The game that the whole table is playing is based on the pass line. And you can start your own game within that game by making a come bet.
Yeah, so we're all, let's say the point is 4. We're all playing that point of 4, and we're hoping that 4 will come up before that 7. And that's just one game in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But if I decide, hey, I want to play another game, I can make a come line bet, and it's like coming out before there was a point made, and let's say a 6 rolled, now my money goes up onto 6, and now I'm in that game, I'm hoping for a 6 to be rolled before a 7.
Right. The rules are exactly the same as the pass line. And when you put that come bet out there, if the next roll is 7 or 11, that come bet automatically wins. Just like when the pass line, you make a pass line bet.
And also if 2, 3, or 12 come up, it loses.
It loses,
just
right.
like the pass line.
And then if any other number comes up, they'll move your come bet up to that number, and now that is the point for that come bet. That's as simple as it is.
You can place odds on it.
Yep,
just
you can
like
take
you
odds
do
on it just like you do
the
pass
come
line.
bet, and
Yep.
it's the same odds as you would have on the pass line. So
Yep.
3, 4, 5 if most strip casinos.
Yeah. Now, okay, are they like place bets? Well, kind of, because they're up on numbers, and you could get into a big philosophical discussion about which is better,
Right.
come bets or place bets. Mathematically, there's no question come bets are better.
Yes.
Right. But, maybe people like making place bets because you get to choose which number you want to,
Well,
wager
they
on.
like
But-
that, and they also like the fact that they make a come bet and they get paid immediately. It doesn't have to be rolled twice. for
You mean
them
a
to
place
get paid.
bet?
I mean, a place
Yeah.
bet. Yeah, so they put their money on 6 before the first roll.
Yeah.
After the come out. If 6 roll, they win on it. They win right away.
Yes.
So that I think most people I've talked to is what they like about place bets.
Right.
They don't like it. They got to 6 has to go rolled. They go up on 6 and then it has to hit again.
Yeah, but again, we've talked about that. It doesn't mean a 6 has to hit
right.
twice for you to win.
Right.
Because, maybe a 6 never is rolled.
Right.
Right. You
You've
win on 7-11.
Right. I know, but it's the mindset.
Oh, I know. I agree. Place bettors never think about, well, what if the 6 never rolls? You didn't
Right.
lose your come bet on a 6 because it was never there.
rolled, right.
Anyway, come bets are they're just pass line bets that you can make in the middle of somebody's roll for
And
a
what
point.
we told people mostly when we were teaching people is that making come bets was a slower, more safe way, if you will.
More conservative is a good way to put it, yeah.
way to play than making place bets, which were a little more aggressive.
Yeah. Whenever you and I teach the game to somebody, we always recommend a pass line bet and then 1 or 2 come bets.
Right.
And, just sit and wait for your numbers to come up. It's a conservative way to do. It's a great way mathematically to go through it.
And it's a
not
good
big
way to
house
see
edge.
how the game goes.
Yes.
Without
It's a good way to learn the game, yeah.
Right. You make place all the numbers. You go all the way across and place all. There's a lot going on, and for a new person, that's kind of overwhelming.
Yes. Yeah.
So if they just have 3 numbers and your numbers are 6, 8, and 5. You win when those come up. You're going to lose it all if 7 comes up,
Right,
and it's easy to follow. And then you get the hang of that. You kind of get the hang of the game.
Yep. All right, Las Vegas. So the good people at VIMP, the Vegas Internet Mafia Family Picnic, have come up with an event called VZT, which is like a mini VIMP.
Yeah. Now, who thought of that?
Well, it was probably Chuck Monster. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, but so it's basically a mini VIMP. All they're having is kind of their main event: Vegas Tripping, Vegas Gang, 5 Honey by Midnight. They're going to do their show live at the D Showroom.
Oh, so 5 Honey is going to be there
oh,
too.
yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
that. I thought it was just Vegas.
Yeah, no. So it's going to be April 2nd. Which is a Saturday. So here's what Mike and I have decided to do. We are going to fly to Vegas Friday morning, April 1st. Not an April Fool's joke. We really are.
We really are going.
We're taking the first flight out on Friday morning.
That's a joke. Right. We're not getting up that early.
Oh, we are, my
who
friend.
would get up that early?
Now, here we go. We're staying that night, and then we are coming home on the last flight out of Vegas on Saturday night, which is not that late. It's like 8:15 is their last flight. I can't believe that's the last flight.
I hate that. The airport here in San Diego is open until 11:30.
Yeah, I think
or
it's something like that for arrivals.
Yeah, so they could have a 10:30 flight or a 10 o'clock.
But we're just one night. I think our plan is we're going to stay on the Strip. So that whole Friday, we're just going to be on the Strip. Just,
Right.
that
Mid-strip.
whole day. Yeah, we're probably staying at Harrah's. I think that's where we're going to stay.
Yeah,
Right?
I think they didn't even ask me. They just booked me at Harrah's.
That's fine. It's a good location. We won't play craps there because the last time was it was so
but
horrible.
It is a great location.
Great location, yeah. So we're going to stay there, and then Saturday morning we'll cab it down to downtown, and we'll stay down there and play down there.
Probably
and,
play Golden Gate in the morning.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, maybe.
So
the D.
again, we'll be tweeting. Hopefully, we'll see you there. It's going to be my 100th trip to Las Vegas.
Yeah, and I think it's my 34th or something.
Yeah,
right?
I thought it would be great if we could kind of coordinate my 100th trip to Vegas with our 100th episode, which should be coming up probably, I think, in May.
Right.
So it's not going to be quite coordinated. Maybe we'll record some stuff that we'll play on our 100th episode. I don't know. But it's going to be the 100th episode.
Yeah, something will happen. You'll buy in for 100.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Just everywhere you go, I'll buy in for 100.
And then immediately cash out. Right. Yeah. So anyway, visit. We're going to be going April 1st and 2nd. We're just coming home that Saturday night. So just a quick trip.
I'm not going to be able to pronounce that.
That's okay. Yeah, you don't have to. I think the folks over at Denton, Dallas, and Beyond, they aren't going to be able to make it because they're going to Vice Lounge Online's anniversary party. That happens to be that same weekend, but they called it Visit. So if you just visit, then you'll be able to
now
do that. Now
where's the Vice Lounge Online?
They're going to be in Louisville. They're going to be touring all of the distilleries and what have you over there.
Oh, in Louisville.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're staying at
some of them might be staying at the Southern Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Well, it's right down the street there.
Yeah.
So here's something I haven't told you yet. This will come as news to you.
Okay.
I am planning a trip later this year to go to Iowa. To the Horseshoe in Iowa.
What's the occasion?
Well, I just found out that my aunt and all my cousins who live in Nebraska, it's only 35 miles from the casino.
Okay.
It never even occurred to me.
Wow.
And my mom's talking to me the other day, and she's like, yeah, she's going with my brother. And she's like, yeah, we're going to stay at the Horseshoe in Iowa. And I'm like, really? How close is that? And she's like, well, it's like 35 miles. It takes like a half hour to drive there. And so I'm thinking, wait a minute, I got to go visit my aunt too.
Okay, good.
Right? So yeah, we may all just go like in the fall or something.
Nice. All right. Trip's planned.
Yep.
All right, good. Hey, enjoy the Super Bowl this weekend. The Super Bowl is on Dr. Mike's birthday this year.
Yeah.
So enjoy that. Folks, if you have a chance, listen to the latest Gambling with an Edge episode because it's a very good episode about Super Bowl prop bets. And in fact, Todd sent us a link to a post that shows all the prop bets that the Westgate put up. It's a great page, that has all the different, some of the crazy ones and some of the, interesting ones.
There are no
like
crazy
that.
ones.
So anyway, enjoy the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I plan to.
Yeah, good. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. Hey, we want to thank listener Chaz for a PayPal donation. He sent us one of those very popular $14 PayPal donations. So thanks once again for that.
I don't think we knew that was going to catch on quite like that.
I know, that's not what we planned, but there you go. That's become a very popular PayPal donation.
Why didn't we at the time say $104 or something, right?
Yeah.
$114.
Can you imagine somebody cashing in for $114 back to back? Hey, be sure to check out our TV listings showing all the gambling-related shows coming up within the next 2 weeks. We update those listings every Wednesday using a customized program to search through all the raw American TV data. Just go to our webpage, youcanbetonthat.com, and click on the link at the top that says TV listings. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS. Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at YouCanBetOnThat. We always tweet when we're heading to a casino, and we'd love to meet up with you. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. And finally, head on over to iTunes and write a review on us. When you do, it helps us get new listeners. Mike?
Well, I'm excited about the Super Bowl.
Are you?
Because, not that it's actually my birthday that day, but also I'm excited about the Super Bowl because it's the 50th.
Yeah.
And I'm, turning 50.
Uh-huh.
And, what excites me is not the fact that it's the 50th or that it's Carolina or Denver. Because, I'm not really a fan of either of those two teams. And everyone I talk to kind of thinks Carolina will win, but some people are hoping
Hey, listen,
Denver will
you
win.
heard it here first. Carolina's it's gonna be a wipeout. They're gonna cream them. I don't want that. I want a good Super Bowl.
Right.
But my prediction is Carolina is just gonna blow them away.
And that may
prove me wrong, but
may very well happen. And it'll be another horrific Super Bowl for Denver, right? And what I hate is games like that because I root every Super Bowl except for the one that the Chargers were in. Every Super Bowl, I root for overtime. That's all right. I care about.
It's never happened.
I want overtime. It's never happened. I'd love to see overtime. I like overtime anyway. I mean, in any sport, it just means I get to watch more sports. So I always root for overtime. Okay. It's like the 6th number in a fire bet, It's just what you dream about. But the reason I want Carolina to win is because, and I mean, I'm not really want them to win, but it would be nice if they won. So that way Peyton Manning would have lost 3 Super Bowls and he would join Fran Tarkenton, Jim Kelly, and John Elway as the only quarterbacks to lose 3 or more Super Bowls.
You don't like Peyton Manning, or you just want him to tie the record? I just
think it's great that these are wonderful quarterbacks.
Oh, that have had
terrible Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah, right.
And they're all great quarterbacks. It's not like some no-name quarterback who was on a good team and they made it like 2 or 3 years. Maybe Jim Kelly. Maybe you can argue him. But I mean, Fran Tarkenton and John Elway, great quarterbacks in all those losses.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're rooting for that.
That's what I'm rooting for.
Right, very good.
Now, Peyton Manning, do not send me any emails or letters.
He's not listening, Mike.
I still like him. I think he's a great quarterback.
He's not listening.
I just like the fact that how can they all be bunched up like that?
All right. Good night.
Good night.